The following tutorial is brought to you by WholeLoops.com.
It's production time. I'm Reid Stefan, realest puppet in the game. Today, we're mixing a pop vocal duet from scratch using nothing but Waves plugins. The demo track that we got pulled up is Thoreau featuring Karra, Prom Nite.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me?
And as you could hear, this vocal is completely dry, unprocessed, no volume, no panning, anything, just a bunch of mono recordings and mono audio channels, as raw as it gets. We're really going to be putting this vocal together from the ground up. Now, the very first thing that I like to do on pop vocals is a little bit of tuning. I'm going to use Waves Tune real-time mono, and you very easily tell it what key your song is in. Pick a retune speed. I like to do the fastest speed on this. And then the note transition speed is basically the tuning effect.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over, what's that?
And now that we got a setting that we like, we could just copy it, paste it down onto here, and let's check and make sure that this is a good setting on Thoreau's voice.
Me if you didn't need me.
Might hit it a little bit harder.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear.
I'm going to grab this faster one because I like to put faster tuning settings on all my background vocals as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste this down onto all my individual channels. This isn't a plugin that you could put on the groups. You have to put this on each individual one. Let's check out our stack now.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear.
Sounding much better already. Now here's where the sauce comes in. On the lead vocals, I'm going to grab the brand new Waves vocal sauce. This is a plugin that just released today, and when you load it up on your vocal, you could see it's a lot like winning solitaire, and you could see a very complex chain and a huge pile of Waves plugins are already routed within this audio effect rack set up for you. And now if you're not an Ableton user, this preset also works for FL Studio users, Pro Tools users, and Logic Pro X users. And let's paste it down onto here. And now you're thinking, man, I've got a lot of vocal channels. Does that mean I'm going to have 100 Waves plugins running at the same time? No. Waves vocal sauce only goes on your lead, and then for all the background vocals, we process them together with the brand new Waves background sauce. And the reason I put lead on the individual ones instead of grouping the leads and putting them together is that it allows a compressor to focus on each vocal individually and do a better job bringing out the nuances of Karra's performance and Thoreau's performance. So now that we've got all of our vocal chains loaded up, let's give this a listen and see what we've got.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year.
Now, before we even get into mixing these vocals, I want to do something that's going to help clean these up a lot, and that's just panning. So when I pan my vocals, I like to listen to each take and decide how far to pan it by how high the singer is singing. So since this is probably going to be the highest note in the whole stack, we're going to pan these all the way to the outside, but maybe not do it completely parallel. Do slightly in from the outside. That way you don't get it completely cut off in one ear. And now let's go to the next one and see what we have. This is kind of a duplicate of the lead, so we can keep this closer to the center. So maybe I'll do about 27 and 22.
Don't play me, girl, you know what you did.
So this is a pretty high note, so we're going to push these pretty far to the outside. Like 39, 40 something. Perfect. And let's go listen to the bottom one.
Play me, girl.
Let's push these all the way to the outside and then just back in ever so slightly. So now that we have a nice spread of all of our background vocals, let's take a listen to the pile.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy.
Now, if I didn't want to go in and spend the time and really nitpick and wrap the effects around the vocal performance, I could just call it done, because that really is the purpose of Waves background sauce and Waves vocal sauce, for you to just drop on your lead vocals and drop on your background group and get you almost all the way there. Now, what if we wanted to customize this preset to this song? Well, that's where automation comes in. So let's take a listen to the beginning and see how we could use all of these effects to help the song really feel more like a production and not just a recording with some effects on it.
Would you believe me?
So this first hook can be thinned out a little bit. That's a great way to make it not seem like such a big moment, especially because this is the intro of the song. So I'm going to take the leads, hit the low cut on all these up a little bit.
Introduced to me when you fucked me up.
And maybe even thinner right here. We're going to do some kind of moving EQ here.
Me when you fucked me up that day.
I ain't get it, girl, what is it with you?
And then down here it drops right back down with an immediate
I
cut.
ain't get it, girl, what is it with you? Yeah, I ain't lying, trust you got some issues. Yeah, why you crying, girl, I still forgive you.
Let's see where else we can use this thin effect.
It's like you expect me to babysit. Yeah, all she talk about is getting lit. Except she ain't done being
Let's try it in
a
the
kid.
pre-chorus.
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go.
You can see how by thinning out Thoreau's voice, you really draw the attention towards Karra's part, or you could do the opposite if you kind of wanted it to feel more like the male hook of the song. Boom.
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go.
But since we just got out of the first verse, which is Thoreau's part, I think I want that contrast of having the female part come in as the main focus. So we're going to keep Thoreau's part thin for the hook.
Except she ain't done being a kid.
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go. I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go.
Let's take this part and thin it out a lot, because this is almost supposed to feel like a ad-lib, even though it's up here on the lead channel. Boom.
I can let you go. Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear.
And I always like to run the low cut as high as I can, just until you start hearing it working, and that's usually the perfect spot.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over, until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year. The longer we drag this out, I'm attached to. How did we get so far away? Now I'm getting used to the thought introduced to me when you fucked me up that day.
Hey, let's just do right into Karra's verse now. Let's see what we feel like doing with this low cut.
Know me better than I know myself. Running laps around my head, it doesn't help.
And now this is a great spot to hit the glue up a little bit.
Know me better than I know myself. Running laps around my head, it doesn't help.
Hey.
Oh, laughing at me from the other side, I can tell that I can hear you loud enough. You don't have to yell.
And then maybe for you don't have to yell, and this word no that comes after it, a nice little thin sweep. Almost like if you're DJing and you hit the filter knob on the mixer.
Hear you loud enough, you don't have to yell. No, don't play me, boy, you know what I meant. It's not like you ever gave a shit. I was talking last time we spent. Now who's the one being a kid? I don't need.
And now that we just got out of Karra's verse, let's use the EQ effect to bring Thoreau's vocal to the foreground and make his voice a little bit more bold.
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go.
Just to remind you, it's a duet.
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go. Hey. Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over, until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year.
Boom, and then nice and thin for the final outro version of the hook, same way we did the intro.
The longer we drag this out, I'ma touch it. How did we get so far away? Now I'm getting used to the thought introduced to me when you fucked me up like that.
Boom. And we can even hit it up just a little bit for the last word.
Fucked me up like that.
Just to really drive the effect home. And we've only automated the very first knob of the plugin, and it's sounding pretty saucy already. And that's the beauty of Waves vocal sauce and Waves background sauce.
Are your vocals sounding a little weak sauce? Does your plugin chain lack organic spice and quality? Introducing Waves Vocal Sauce, the ultimate preset for Waves plugins that'll get your vocals so saucy you may never use another plugin chain again. Waves Vocal Sauce is available now only at wholeloops.com.
Let's move on to the, actually let me check the glue knob down here and see if we need to boost up the verse a little bit.
I ain't get it, girl, what is it with you?
Definitely, let's hit the glue up on here a little
I
bit.
ain't get it, girl, what is it with you? Yeah, I ain't lying, trust you got some issues. Yeah, why you crying, girl, I still forgive you. Yeah, all the shit I get you to admit to. Yeah.
Let's also hit the sauce up during this part too. This is my favorite.
I ain't get it, girl, what is it with you? Yeah, I ain't lying, trust you got some issues. Yeah, why you crying, girl, I still forgive you. Yeah,
Maybe now that we got some sauce in there, we don't need quite as much glue.
I ain't get it, girl, what is it with you? Yeah, I ain't lying, trust you got some.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until
Know me better than I know myself. Running laps around my head, it doesn't help. Oh, laughing at me from the other side, I can tell that I can hear you loud enough. You don't have to yell. No, don't play me, boy, you know what I'm at. It's not like you ever gave a shit. All this talking, last time we spent. Now who's the one being a kid?
Back down.
I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go. I don't need you, I don't need you, no.
Let's put some sauce here at the end too. We're putting extra sauce on the final hooks just to make sure that you're like, this vocal is saucy. Well, by the time that the last hook comes out.
Yeah, I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go. I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can't let you go. Ay. Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year.
Now the next thing I want to automate is the reverb section. And I know that I want to have the reverb high during the hooks and low during the verses. So let's take it section by section and just highlight it and kind of just do a big overall volume adjustment.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear.
Actually, a nice drier intro is going to sound better for this part. So I'm going to pull the reverb down for the beginning, actually.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear.
Now into the verse.
I ain't get it, girl, what is it with you? Yeah, I ain't lying, trust you got some issues. Yeah, why you crying, girl, I still forgive you.
Nice, we got some reverb going in
I don't
there.
need you, I don't need you, no.
And I think this part's going to be the vibiest part.
All she talk about is getting lit, except she ain't done being a kid. I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go.
Let's definitely sauce the reverbs up during this part.
I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go. I don't need you, I don't need you, no.
A little bit more for the hook
I won't
too.
leave you, I can let you go. Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear.
Let's check out the verse.
Know me better than I know myself. Running laps around my head, it doesn't help. Oh, laughing at me from the other side, I could tell that I blame me, boy, you know what I'm at. It's not like you ever gave a shit. All this talking, lost time is spent.
Let's bring the reverb back up for the pre.
I don't need you, I don't need you, no.
Hey.
I don't need you, I can let
Back
you
down
go.
for the next part a little bit.
I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you go. Hey. Would you believe me if you didn't need me?
Boom. And now we've got the top row automated on both of our lead vocal channels. Let's do the same thing with our half note delays. I know for sure I'm going to want to boost it up here in the hooks. And then as we listen to it, adjust it from there. I like to hold command when I drag these things up. It kind of gives you a little bit more off the grid adjustment, which I find easier for wrapping things around vocals. Same thing with up here. We're just saucing these hooks up with these Waves plugins.
I won't leave you, I can't let you go. Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year. The longer we drag this out, I'm attached to it. How did we get so far away? Now I'm getting used to the thought introduced to me when you fucked me up that day.
All right, let's do some quarter notes on the verse. I think that's going to be a good complement to the cadence.
You know me better than I know myself. Running laps around my head, it doesn't help. Oh, laughing at me from the other side, I can tell that I can hear you loud enough. You don't have to yell, no. Don't play me, boy, you know what I'm at. It's not like you ever gave a shit. All this talking, lost time is spent.
Hey.
Now who's the one being a kid? I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can let you
Let's
go.
do the same quarter notes over here on the
I
other
don't
lead.
need you, I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can't let you go.
Hey.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year. The longer we drag this out, I'm attached to it. How did we get so far away? Now I'm getting used to the thought introduced to me when you fucked me up that day.
And I think these delays are kind of ruining the potency of the final line, so I'm just going to fade all those out so that it's pretty dry feeling by the time the last line comes through.
To me when you fucked me up that day.
I like the reverb, that's clean. Now that we've got some automation on our quarter notes, half notes, maybe we'll pick some spots to boost the eighth notes too.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be.
Let's just pull the eighth notes out for this one. I feel like because the lyrics are so fast in this song, it kind of takes away from the clarity, so let's just try a slap.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over.
Slap sounds really nice, but maybe a little bit less on the verse, and then just like every other effect, we'll do more in the hooks.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you.
Boom. A little bit extra slap in the hook on Thoreau's voice. Normally you wouldn't have to do this twice, but this is a duet. Now that we've got our lead vocals processed, locked in, automated, sounding the way we want, we can go in and focus on the background vocals.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me?
Now, background sauce is very similar to Waves vocal sauce, where it brings everything up front, simplifies a complex chain into 8 controls, but its purpose is really the exact opposite, where Waves vocal sauce is trying to keep it front and center. Waves background sauce is trying to spread it as far to the outside as possible and keep the center open. And things that I like to do to my background vocals to help them not compete with the lead vocal are really in the order of the knobs here on the preset.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year.
I kind of like the more filtered background vocals for the intro. Gives more of an intimate feel to the lead vocals, but once the stacks are in, it helps the stacks feel really big. So I'm going to boost them up for the rest of the song and just have the intro be a little bit more filtered. And the same thing with the low cut too. A little extra filter on the intro.
I ain't get it, girl, what is it with you?
So I'm going to hit the EQ, maybe not so high. Let's try it.
Don't play me, girl, you know what you did. Don't play me, girl, you know what you did. Yeah. It's like you expect me to babysit. Yeah. All she talk about is getting lit. Except she ain't done being a kid.
I don't need you, no. I don't need you, I can't let you go.
That's without it.
I don't need you, no.
Take the background vocals and make them a little bit duller.
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can't let you go. I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can't let you go.
During these pre-chorus parts, I also want to add a bunch of extra vibe with some reverb to these long background vocals.
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can't let you go.
Let's do it over here too.
Now who's the one being a kid?
I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can't let you go. I don't need you, no. I won't leave you, I can't let you go.
And then a little extra sauce during the last hook on the background vocals.
Would you believe me if you didn't need me? It can't be that easy, I swear. Just when I'm getting over until you come over. We're stuck in October of last year. The longer we drag this out, I'm attached. How did we get so far away? Now I'm getting used to the thought introduced.
This nice slope fading out the background vocals for the last part is going to help the listener's attention get directed back towards the lead vocal.
The longer we drag this out, I'm attached. How did we get so far away? Now I'm getting used to the thought introduced to me when you fucked me up that day.
Well, there you have it. That is my tutorial on mixing a vocal from scratch using nothing but Waves plugins in Ableton 10. And remember, Waves Vocal Sauce is available now at wholeloops.com. It's compatible with FL Studio, Ableton, Pro Tools, and Logic. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in a comment below, and I'll catch you guys next time with another tutorial. Peace out.